remember.
Mm.
I don't remember.
Yeah. And is there someone in Robin's life?
Nobody.
She's at home all the time working and listening. A lot.
Mm.
She doesn't really want anybody right now, John or anything. But he has somebody.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. He goes to her place in Massachusetts all the time. And John has to go with him. I said, did you talk? No, I said, how was Jay tonight? She says, I didn't call, she was at Lynn's. It's very quiet when she's there, so
mm.
it's gotta be hard. And then he said to her the last time, she picked her up, because she had, Friday to Monday, and he said, you take her to Dick's and buy her a bathing suit, I'll pay for it. I'm thinking, where were you all week, But she bought two, one for her place, one for home. And she said, I was glad I was in my window, because she kept picking out these old lady swimsuits. Oh, wow. Islam's good, she's back to school now and working, she worked very part-time. She had been in the hospital a bit.
How old is she now?
22, no?
22 or 23.
Mm.
And she got so thin, and then, so she has the prednisone in the hospital on that.
Mm.
Well, she's only got like another year or something, or she has to have another, So,
Mm.
it's hard. But she has her own car, she has a boyfriend, and there you go. Living the life. Anyway, I never thought, remember when I thought she was dying.
I know, it's the whole thing is miraculous.
Really, because it's like, what they call it third spacing. Your body just swells up.
Mm.
So I saw that,
How's Stacy?
she's good, but her MS is really, she gets a lot of pain. Of course, it travels, it's progressed going down her legs and things. So her husband's great though, and he has a terrific job.
Mm. Thank God.
And so she has people that come and clean her house. He even hires lawn work now. She never did it, but because he's very busy. He works from home in the back room, and they have a lanai, only it's enclosed. And she called me the other morning. She says, guess what, Mom? I'm on my way to breakfast, and then I'm going to Walmart, and I'm going to get Jim an AC unit for the back room. Really? Apparently it isn't strong enough out there or something. Because they have central air there. So, but if he's in there all day, he has the windows closed.
And then the sun may come in. It's
Because he can't have people in and out. Because he's a director. A director for that.
I'm so grateful that that's,
Excuse me?
I'm grateful that that,
Oh, me too.
mm.
Because they got a pool, they got nice friends.
What's Sloan studying?
She did 2 years of webinar, and she told me, she's mom, I don't want to do this, I want to do hair, believe it or not. So she went to cosmetology school. And when she got ill, she had,
Take a hiatus.
and then with the coronavirus. Okay.
So,
But she's almost done now, and she loves it. She was going to work, somebody there had wanted her to work in their shop, they wanted her to, but she's working
I mean, I see him every week on the screen. They're in Seattle.
I didn't realize you were there.
Oh, my
I
goodness.
thought they were down in Pennsylvania.
Philadelphia. It's, now they've been in Seattle. This was their second year.
Hmm.
No, I guess not. Is it?
When he was born, how old was
Right. He's going to be 2 in November.
he?
Boy.
So they've been out there over a year. It's great. He has words. Sometimes he puts 2 words on the bird. That's great.
I love it. I love it. Good job.
Sometimes he puts 2 words together. Sometimes he puts 2 words together. It's very sweet. So in 1 minute, we'll start. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome. As you settle in for Shabbat, some of you may have our Siddur in your home, Mishkan Tfilah. Others may be choosing to use the PDF that you can find on our website of Mishkan Tfilah. Feel free to open it on another device or to minimize the live stream image and put the PDF on the other side of the screen. Shabbat, and what a special Shabbat it is for us today. A Shabbat of love, a Shabbat of community, leaning into what is difficult and challenging and painful, and honoring that, but also noticing what is overflowing blessings, the gifts, the privilege, and the blessings. Page 126 of our Siddur. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. HaShekhinah needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love HaShekhinah is to love each other, to work, to make our lives better. To love HaShekhinah is to love the world HaShalom created and to work to perfect it. To love HaShalom is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. Many of you who are joining with us this evening are aware that this is a special night, not just because it's Shabbat, but because on this Shabbat we celebrate Cantor Bob and, of course, Pat Cohen. We celebrate as Cantor Bob transitions into his position as Cantor Emeritus of Congregation Emmanuel of the Hudson Valley. I have had the privilege of working with him for over 20 years, 21 years, and of becoming not just colleagues, but friends. What is true about the Sabbath is true about Bob Cohn, that is that prayer and the joy of the Sabbath is welcomed always through song, through Zmirot, as we turn together to page 128, paragraph 3, Heart's Delight, Source of Mercy, draw your servant into your arms.
Yedid nefesh Avarachaman, Yedid nefesh Avarachaman, Meshoch Avdecha, Eretz Lecha,
Meshoch Avdecha,
Lai 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 lai,
El Retzonecha, Yarutz Avdecha, Kemo Yalaya, Yishtachave Lai Lai Lai, Yala Lai 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 Lai, El Mul Hadarecha. 129 at the top of the page, opening a sense of intimacy as we lean into the Sabbath, opening our hearts to those blessings and to the source.
Dodi li vani lo aroe bashoshanim, Dodi li mizot olam min hamidbar, mizot olam min hamidbar. Dodi li vani lo haroe bashoshanim, Dodi li mekuteret mor, mor ulevona, mor ulevona, Dodi li, Dodi
for all of our students, the young people who are participating this evening virtually. We have taught you well. When I ask you what the most important holiday is, you don't ever dare to say Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur or even Pesach. You will always say to me Shabbat. We know that the most important singular mitzvah is, in fact, pikuach nefesh, to save a soul. But what is the mitzvah that is repeated most frequently in the Torah? That actually is the treatment of the ger, the treatment of the other, the stranger, the one who you are not familiar with. 36 times at least, the treatment of the ger is mentioned in our Torah. As we turn to page 138 and pray paragraphs 1 and 2, 5 and 9 of Lecha Dodi, this special Shabbat prayer to welcome Shabbat HaMalkah, the Sabbath Queen. At the final and 9th paragraph, we stand and face the entrance to our shul, to our synagogue, making certain that we are living according to this value of the kindness, the compassion, and the equity and justice with which we treat the other. Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi, Lekrat Kala, Penei Shabbat, Kabbalat. Lecha Dodi, Lekrat Kala, Penei Shabbat, Kabbalat. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad hishmiyanu el hamiyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shemo tiferet v'leitihila lecha dodi lekrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela Adoni, lekrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekabela, likrat Shabbat, lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor ha'bracha merosh, mikedem nesulcha, sof ma'aseh, v'machshavat tchila, lecha dodi, lekrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekabela, lecha dodi, lekrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekabela, hitoreli, kiva, orech, gumi, uri, shir daberi, kivod Adonai, alayich nigla, lecha dodi, lekrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekabela, lecha dodi, lekrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekabela, boi v'shalom ateret ba'ala gam besimcha ובצוהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה.
143 at the bottom, and so we understand that ordinary people can be messengers of the Most High This evening, as is our tradition during COVID-19, I acknowledge the everyday heroes, the first responders who are putting their lives on the line to serve, to protect, and to provide for our community, our families, and for the people in the United States. Members of our community and their loved ones, nurses, Marie Delaparte, Christina Du Bois, Teresa Eggers, Jay Mountier, Cindy Pomerantz, Helen Powers, Joni Savego, Christina Snell, Elisa Williams. Doctors Amy Cagiula, Joe Cohen, Elliot Dresnick, Ilan Haley, Liz Levine, Aaron Daniel Levitt, Elle Levitt, Noah Alexander Levitt, Hannah Mittenberg, Andrew Yanofsky. Healthcare providers and workers, Yisrael Aga, Dara Clausen, Amy Skorka, Jaron Whittam, the nurses, the doctors, the aides, and the staff at the ARC Mid-Hudson, at Kingston Health Alliance, at Benedictine, at Vassar Hospital, at our nursing homes. First responders Ryan Coletti, Mark Donchek, Steve Fleischer, Don Hughes, Karen Leader, Abe Markovitz, Anthony Schleuderer, Russell Seymour. Educational professionals Molly Levine Hunt, Jim Hunt, Tammy Logan, Karen Zrake. Grocery staff Jill Smith and Mike Becker. Technicians, mechanics, electricians, maintenance people, Mike Brewer, Brian Lestrange. We are filled with gratitude for those mentioned and for others that perhaps you would like to pass their names on to our staff so I can include them next week. For all of those essential workers, Shalom Aleichem, may peace be upon you as we turn to page 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mihi Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitchem LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
144, Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitkadal ve'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Yalma divrach chilutei v'emlech malchutei v'chayechon uv'omechon uv'chayedecho Beit Yisrael ba'agala בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם עולמי עלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומן ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה ברכו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן.
Standing together, calling one another into formal worship, entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time, even at unlikely times and through unlikely places. There is no place on earth without the presence.
Baruch Hu,
Baruch Hu,
et Adonai,
et Adonai,
Hamevorach,
Hamevorach,
Baruch Adonai,
Baruch Adonai,
Hamevorach,
Hamevorach,
Leolam,
Leolam,
Va'ed,
Va'ed. 148, this is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Ma'ariv, Aravim, 148.
Lai 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 lai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim ma'ariv aravim bechokhma poteach she'arim ubitchuna meshaneh itim מחליף את הזמנים ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. לה 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 יום ולילה כולל אור מבני חושך וחושך מבני אור ומעביר יום ומעביר לילה ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו. לי 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 חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב הרבים Mariv Aravim.
At the bottom of page 151, John Rayner speaks to our prayer, Ahavat Olam. Torah is what Hashalom has revealed to us and what we discern of Hashalom. Ideas and ideals, laws and mitzvot, our religious heritage. It unfolds our memories of Sarah and Abraham, of Miriam and Moses and the prophets. It is legislation and explanation, allowing questions that challenge, answers that inspire, all a quest for meaning. It is our way of life, a path for our souls, and the design for a better world. 152.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
As we continue on page 153, Cantor Bob brings the prayers of Pete Seeger into our Beit Knesset. Rabbi Yael brings the prayers of Ovadia Chamama into our Beit Knesset and insisted and insists that Cantor Bob learn them.
Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta b'ham v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha b'derech uv'shofecha uv'kumecha uv'shartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu l'totafot b'neinecha וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Julius Lester taught, Judaism is a doing which can be grasped only by the heart. And that 158, when we have partnered with the source of creation to create justice and equity and kindness in our world, then we will know the redeeming presence of the Eternal One, just as Miriam and Moses and Bnei Yisrael did. 158.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, osefele, nora tehilot, osefele, malchutecha ראו בניך בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים זה אלי ענו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, לעולם, לעולם, לעולם ועד.
162, Echad Ha'am said more than the Jewish people have kept Shabbat. Shabbat has kept the Jewish people, V'shamru, Bnei Yisrael, et HaShabbat.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לתורותם ומיתותם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
164. Pray as if everything depended on Hashalom. Act as if everything depended on you.
Lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, lai 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 la Sefatai tiftach ufi agid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise.
Tfilat Amidah continues balachash in a whisper through page 180. Indulge in prayer. Find your prayer, not only those written on the page, but those written in your hearts.
Adonai Suri Vegoa Page 181.
As we turn to page 181, Cantor Bob brings his composition of Create a Pure Heart Within Me. As he would want you to, please join him from your virtual spaces.
Create a pure heart within me. Let my soul wake up in your light. Open me to your presence. Flood me with your Holy Spirit. Then I will stand, then I will stand and sing out, and sing out. Then I will stand, I will stand and sing out, and sing out the power of your forgiveness. I will teach your love to the lonely, and the lost will find their way home. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your glory. Then I shall stand, then I shall stand and sing out. Then I shall stand, I shall stand and sing out, and sing out, and my mouth will declare your praise. Oh, say shalom bin Ramah. Oh, yeah, say shalom aleinu. Kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu. Kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu. Kol Yisrael.
Turning to page 371, as we have the Amidah on our lips and on our hearts, we turn our prayers to members of our community who are in need of healing of body and of spirit. We hold in our hearts Avel ben Rachel v'David, Craig Albeli, Susan Bosch, Tyler Corvin, John Gaudier, Jeff Gold, Stephen Gutterman, Ash, Nikki, Kohut, Levi Skolnick, Robin Stone. We ask for continued healing and strength for Todd Albelli, Tommy Anderson, Debbie Brenner, Michael Corvin, Stephen Fine, Cheryl Fitzsimmons, Francine Glasser, Mark Greenberg, Marcia Hamburg, Danny Joseph, Heather Kedar, Marty Cantor, Anita Cantor, Jill Levy Corley, Charles Littman, David Mallon, Danielle Mass, Sandy Mell, Ann Murkoff, Marshall Nadan, Catherine Nicholson, Nevan Newsy, Steve Perlmutter, Antoinette Phelan, Lillian Rich Schuster, Dave Rosenthal, Evie Rosenthal, Kyle Rothgeb, Barbara Salberg, Shirley Schneider, Deborah Sears, Phil Searles, Michelle Simon, Charles Slutsky, Ronald Sonnenstein, Elaine Trott, Mark Trott, Kay Walsh, Ben Wilder, Mac Williams, Scott Zimbler. For all those that you are holding in your heart, we pray this prayer together in the middle of 371.
Mi sheberach avoteinu bekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu bekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah, Shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Our parsha is Ba'alotecha. Ba'alotcha in Numbers 8:1 is really a story of how we are lifting up and lifted up. I want to draw your attention to Numbers 9:14 when we hear one of 36 mentions of some aspect of this mitzvah. V'chi yagur etchem ger. When a ger, another, a stranger, one you don't know well, one who is different than you, shall dwell with you, there will be one law for everyone, for you and for the stranger, and for those who are native in the land. Imagine that. The mitzvah in the Torah that is mentioned more than any other mitzvah is about treatment of the ger. Now it's interesting, ger means one who resides in your home, in your nation, in your town, in your community, a ger. But ger also means a convert. Ger means a stranger. Ger means the other. Ger describes the individual who, by definition, has not grown up like you, perhaps doesn't look like you, didn't grow up with you, and yet you live together in a community. And our Torah text teaches there is only one law of the land. There's no possibility for one law for Jews and another for non-Jews, for one law for Jews and another for strangers or for the other. Baba Metzia in the Talmud 59 Bet speaks about the fact that this mitzvah is mentioned at least 36 times in the Torah, that we have to act with kindness and with justice toward the other. And as I sat with it this week, it occurred to me that ultimately, how we will treat the stranger, how we will treat the individual we do not know, that will determine who we are and who we will be. How I treat the other person is so much more than about the other person. It's about who I choose to be as a person, as an individual, as a person of faith at the core of my values. I love that this portion comes back at the very end to tell a story that you know very well. In Numbers 12:1, we hear that Miriam spoke against Moses regarding the Cushite woman, the woman of color, the woman from the land of Cush, the black woman whom he had married. For he had married a black woman. Imagine that. Miriam and Aaron are heroes, are prophets, harbored bias, harbored inherent racism. They gossiped, badmouthed, not just another, but their sister-in-law, their brother's wife. For weeks now, since the death of George Floyd, no, even before then, from this pulpit, I spoke passionately about the lynching of Ahmaud Arbery. And we have been speaking week after week about what the Black Lives Matter movement means to this nation and to us as Jews. And tonight, I want to take a moment and reflect from the portion to remind us that it's too easy for us to deflect and look at those other people, those bad people who are racist, those bad people who do racist things, and remind ourselves that if there will be a change in this nation, it begins with me. That at the end of the day, the change that needs to happen is not with the police alone, not with policies alone, not with the racism that my neighbor harbors for others, but with the racism that I carry within my heart, and the policies and the privilege that I have benefited from in my own life. Because this is the message of the Torah. If it makes us uncomfortable that it was Miriam and Aaron that spoke against Tzipporah, this giant of a woman, this observer of mitzvot, this passionate keeper of the faith, Tzipporah, Miriam and Aaron come not to make me feel ashamed, but to make me own the bias that I harbor, and the bias that we each harbor, and the racism that we each harbor, and the price of privilege from which I have benefited. This is the Torah's message today. And only when we carry that forward will it shape our nation. And only when we carry that ownership and responsibility forward can we hope to make a change. We hear in 10:35, when the ark would journey, Moses said, "Arise, O source, and let the challenges be scattered. Let those who hate you flee from before you." And when it rested, so they would rest with tranquility, with the source of the sacred among them. Carry the values that we speak about from this pulpit, in this place, in this community, from our faith, into how you live. 25 years ago, there was a person little known and little understood by this community who arrived to this community, and that was you, Robert Cohn. Bob was brought here by Rabbi Jonathan Eichhorn of blessed memory, your mentor, your friend. And he paved the way for you to Congregation Emmanuel, your home. Now, my friend, you have weathered some bumps and curves in your life. And you met Rabbi Eichhorn and your beshert Pat Cohen, your wife and your partner. And together, on the wings of your defender and protector, Rabbi Eichhorn, the two of you made your home here. This, your community. And you have created a worthy life. And you have done sacred work. And I say that today. First and foremost, with Peh Echad, with one voice, with my predecessor, Rabbi Jonathan Eichhorn of blessed memory, here in his shul. And I say that on behalf of Rabbi Eichhorn and my congregation, Congregation Emmanuel. And I say that on my own volition. You, Cantor Bob, you have been for the members here at Congregation Emmanuel, not just a cantor, but you have been a friend. And you have become, you and Pat have become such important parts of this community. And always at the core of who you are and how you arrived here and your heart will always be that undying love between you and your mentor and friend, Rabbi Eichhorn. He brought you here. He bestowed upon you the title of cantor. He opened the door for you to shape a new chapter in your life. But you and I have also had a chance to reflect on what these last 21 plus years have been for us. And subsequent to your beginnings with Rabbi Eichhorn, and now for well over 2 decades, you and I have worked together, shoulder to shoulder, as we created a new chapter of a legacy at Congregation Emmanuel, something new. This congregation has continued to evolve, and you worked side by side with me to shape it. We forged a participatory service where everyone was encouraged to lift up their voice always, where everyone was welcomed always. And you demonstrated the ability to learn, to grow, to change, and to be flexible. And you rose to the occasion hundreds of times. You learned a new genre that wasn't necessarily in your comfort zone. You were responsive to my vision of combining vibrancy and inclusivity with warmth and music, but in relationship and fully integrated to tradition at the core of everything that we did. But I want to take a moment and just speak about your special gifts. You have always not just encouraged everybody to find their voice, but you have been a real champion of the youth and the young people. And you have, in the most exquisite way, helped them to solidify their connection here at Congregation Emmanuel. For that, we are forever indebted. You were willing to change. And Cantor Bob, that's not easy for anyone. And you did it with grace, with humor, with sometimes a little bit of resistance, but always with an open heart. But mostly you and Pat, and you and Pat have actually been here in a way that many clergy people never would have dreamt of doing. You have been here for folks when they needed you, with all of your heart, with all of your energy, with all of your talents and all of your love. And for that, we are forever indebted. You and your Bashert, your beloved Pat, as a team, have been a very big part of shaping this place. And it is such a privilege for me to have worked with you and to be led by our board, which has guided both of us so that you could assume your position as Cantor Emeritus, so that you will always be part of our story and of who we are, past, present, and future. So that you will not just be part of our story, but we will always be part of your story. You came here a stranger, and you became family to us, Bob Cohen. May you be, just like the Torah says, on your journey for new chapters now, always carrying everything that you have done here and learned here at the very core of how you go forward. And may you, as lifetime members of this congregation, continue to shower your blessings of family and of friendship upon this beautiful community that you are part of and will always be part of.
Thank you.
Cantor Bob brings a closing blessing about the ger, about the other. He was inspired to write this piece based on a book called The Color of Water by James McBride. Cantor Bob calls his piece The Color of God.
And if I may, Rabbi, what happened was this concept, the color of water, came because James McBride was the son of a Jewish woman and a black minister. And he grew up and he asked his mother at one point in his young life, "What's the color of God?" And she responded, as you will see in the song. What color is God? Is God black or white? Is there a color that's wrong? A color that's right? What color is God? Is God red, yellow, or tan? What color is God? Please help me understand. God is the color of water, the color of our dreams for our sons and daughters. And we are God's coat of so many colors that when God puts us on, we are a rainbow of sisters and brothers. All is possible when we love God. Everyone has it in their hearts to bend to the rod. We open our hearts to God's love and power. God is our sunshine. We are God's many colored flowers. God is the color of water. Sing it with me. God is the color of water, the color of our dreams for our sons and daughters. And we are God's coat of so many colors that when God puts us on, we are a rainbow of sisters and brothers.
Amen. So immediately following the close of tonight's service at 8:40, Cantor Bob and Pat and I will be moving into the social hall where we will hold a festive virtual kiddush with you to celebrate Cantor Bob's transitioning into his position as emeritus. Please follow the Zoom link that was emailed to you more than once this week, but also today. If you're on the website now, the link is just above the live stream. It's also posted on Facebook. So please join us at 8:40 after we conclude services. And at that time, you will have the opportunity to send Cantor Bob and Pat a word, a phrase, or a brief blessing, a toast of l'chaim, to share all that they mean to us. Morning services tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Bob and I will be leading services together for Saturday morning. He has a few more surprises for you for tomorrow, and we hope that you will join us. Ongoing Zoom classes next week. Chai with the rabbi, that's me, on Mondays and Thursdays. An 18-minute opportunity to connect, to check in. This past Thursday, as we did Chai with the rabbi, our discussion led us to a passage of Talmud, and it was a really sort of wonderful sharing. Please join us Tuesday mornings for meditation and Torah study, for Wednesday Hebrew trope and conversational Hebrew. All of our classes are listed on the website, and I encourage you to join. If there's any confusion, reach out to me or to any of our staff. Leave a message and we will get back to you. Next Friday's Kabbalat Shabbat services begin at 7:30 with our cantorial soloist, Alex Schleuder, and Cantor Bob will be virtually live streaming with his feet up and a glass of wine. If you would like to honor an essential worker by adding their name to the list that we read this week, please call or send an email with their name and occupation. You can find the contact information for all of our calendar and events and how to sign up for our weekly email on our website, cehv.org. A few of you have said to me, when are we opening? My response to you is, we are open, just virtually for now, to make sure that we are protecting everybody. But I am working each and every day to be available to you, to maintain classes and appointments and committee meetings and services. And we will continue until we know we can gather safely. Please remain tuned in throughout the week, and especially on Friday nights and Saturday mornings as we move forward. Page 587, Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon HaKol, l'tei kedula liyotzeh Bereshit, shehu sam chelkeinu liached et shemo, v'gor aleinu להמליך מלכותו, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
591.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך
על כל
הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Page 594. Why should I wish to see HaShekhinah better than this day? I see something of HaShekhinah in each hour of the 24 and each moment then. In the faces of other people, I see HaShekhinah. And in my own face in the glass, I find letters from HaShekhinah dropped in the street, and everyone is signed by HaShekhinah's name. And I leave them where they are, for I know that wheresoe'er I go, others will punctually come forever and ever.
Amen.
To share with the community that one of our members, Randy Zinn and Marquise Stillwell and their family sustained the loss of Randy's beloved grandmother, Bernice Pincus. We are with Randy on this recent loss. So too for the losses of those who died, whose families are observing Shloshim, the month of mourning. We hold Sarah Swan Miller of blessed memory in our hearts, Marianne and Frank Lestrange of blessed memory in our hearts, Harriet Ann Kelly in our hearts, Sidney Levine in our hearts, Arnold Lieberman in our hearts, for those who are observing their Shloshim, and for all of you who are in your Shana, your year of mourning, we are with you as you find healing. So too do we wrap up the memories of loved ones who died in this season in years past, whose lives have been a blessing. David Brenner, son of Debbie Brenner.